Aries, thanks for visiting. This is your reading for July the 22nd to July the 28th. And if you like this reading, as I always ask you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you like to do. I'm just going to start right away with your reading. So the first card you have your past is the Ace of Swords. So yeah, this can be a bit complicated, this card. Obviously, it's one thing I'm seeing here is guarding yourself. The other thing I'm seeing here is two sides, two separate sides. I think you had one side inside yourself, inside your brain, that was pushing down the right track. It was like, I want to do this. I know I want to do this. This is the right way to go. I've been successful in this before. I can keep going. I can be more successful. Then there was another part of you that was kind of like, I don't know if I want to keep on doing this. I don't know if this is what I want. It's brought me positivity, but also it's brought me a lot of negativity. I know I need to keep going. I know I do, but I'm just really worried. I'm just really worried about what comes with it. I think you've had some negative attitudes that have come with this. On the negative side of this, I think you've had some people's attitudes and perceptions of you that have been quite negative around this, or not what they actually were. Some people had some wrong perceptions of you because of this thing that I'm seeing here. I think you've been a little bit careful as to who you've shown this actual thing to, that you're working toward, this thing you're doing. But I think you've been a little bit too careful, actually, a little bit too careful. And so there are two sides to this. There's this really negative side you've got going around inside yourself. There's this positive side of, yes, I have to keep doing this, I have to keep doing this. I think you're going to have to rectify these two sides and kind of find some harmony, some balance with these two sides. Now that might be that you're eventually more open about what this thing is you're doing, or it might be that you're more open to people about this. But before you do that, I think you're going to have to find, look at everyone really carefully, make sure you know them really well, to really work out who you can open up to and who you can't open up to. And I think that's the process you're probably going through. You've probably already started that, and that's why you're having this kind of backwards and forwards, this double-edged sword thing going on. So I think you've got to rectify the two sides, and part of that is about being more open. But I think be really careful of who you're going to be open to, but you are going to have to be a lot more open with this thing that you're doing. That's what I'm seeing. The other thing I'm seeing here is, if you look at these mountains in this card, at the bottom of this card, mountains obviously represent stability, a great big rock, but there's also a lack of growth in these mountains. I can't see any trees or anything. They're quite barren. So I think in the past, I'm not sure how far back this goes, but I think you did feel more stability around you, or you felt as if you had more stability around you than you have now. So I think that gave you, I think way back then you felt the security around you, you felt all this, you were very secure, but you had this kind of barren feeling, like these mountains. It was like, well, yes, they give me security. I know who I am. I know where I are, I know who I am. I know where I am, who I are. I don't even know what that means. So yeah, it was like, yes, I've got the security around me. You know, I've got these big rocks around me. I know where I am and I feel quite secure, but it's also very, very barren where I am. I'm not going to be able to grow where I am. I'm not going to. I'm going to have to move on. And I think you did that. And now you're there where you are now. You're propelled out into the future. You know you're heading in the right direction, which is what I was saying. You know you're heading upwards toward this crown up here. But you don't have that security around you anymore. You don't have that feeling around you anymore. You're up in the air, up in the sky, like this sword. You're not down where the mountains are. So all I need to tell you is you're going in the right direction. That's one thing I need to tell you. You absolutely are. The other thing I need to tell you is you're strong. You're the foundations. You're the security. You can give all of that to yourself. You don't need to look for it anywhere else or with anyone else. It's within you. It always has been within you. So no matter where you go, no matter what you do, it's inside of you. You just have to bring that out. And I think a part of you being able to bring that out is a part of you. I don't know how am I going to say this. So I think one way of you bringing out the security in yourself and kind of feeling more secure in yourself is if you do open yourself up a little bit more to the right people. That's going to help with that, I think. I hope that makes sense. I know I got confused myself. Okay, so the next card you have your past is the Queen of Wands. So yeah, here this is, I'm seeing this again here. So there's this kind of double-edged sword here. This part of you that you show to people, and then there's this part of you that you don't show to people. And then there's another little side down there as well that you kind of keep totally to yourself. So what you're showing to one group of people is one side and another group is another side, not to kind of hide things. That's just how things are, I think. And so there's this duality here, I think, in this card as well. And I think some people might have been getting the impression of you that you're a little bit like this Queen of Wands, that you're a lot more open than you actually are. Because look at this queen, she's so open, she's facing us, we feel as if we can almost have a conversation with her. She's the only queen that's totally facing us. She's holding a sunflower, which is optimism, openness, all of that kind of thing. There's also a black cat in front of her, which is the opposite of that. Black cats can be kind of wandering around, you know, they don't give us all of our attention, they're not open to us. Also, this black cat is guarding this queen. So you are guarding yourself, you weren't all that open, but you appeared to be open to this person who had the wrong impression of you. So if this is all resonating with you, I think with this particular person who's got the wrong idea about you, I think you're going to have to be very, very clear with them if you haven't been already. Cats can be a little bit ambiguous, you know, they can come, they can sit on our laps, and the next minute they're kind of walking off somewhere else. So I'm not saying you're like that, but if you're not interested in this person, I think you'll have to be super, super, super clear with them. You probably already have been because you're Aries, you're very straightforward, but I think you're going to have to be even more clear, even more blunt with them. That probably sounds quite harsh to you, but that's how you're going to have to be with them, because I think they have this set mindset that you're one way and you're actually not that way, you're the other way. And I think that comes down to, again, this kind of duality you have inside yourself, and the part of you that you show people and the part of you that you don't show people. So I think that's all kind of connecting in there. I hope this isn't too confusing. I really don't. This always happens to me in these Aries readings. Someone said to me once, in the comments, they said, we always talk to Aries as if they're a basket case and they're crazy. That means I must be crazy as well. So the last card you have your past is the Ten of Swords. Yes, nobody likes this card. Okay, so you had things that you need to fix. You had internal things you're trying to fix up. I'm seeing that all through this past. Practical things as well. It was quite frustrating. You were a little bit lost. You didn't quite know where you were at this time. And I think you were getting somewhere, you were pushing forward, you were solving a lot of these internal problems and external problems as well, but it might not have seemed that way to you. You know, I'm seeing you running around trying to fix everything, trying to improve things, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. But you might have felt as if you were going backwards or not really getting anywhere, like this poor man who's just lying here. Obviously he's not getting anywhere. So you are getting somewhere. I just want you to know that. And you're going through this process that I think started with you a few weeks ago. I think I saw this in your readings a few weeks ago. It's this process of ascension. And I think when you go through that, it gets hard before it gets easy. So you have to go through a lot of difficult things before it gets to the easy side. You know, I think sometimes when you're forced to go through change, what happens is you start to notice things, you notice problems in things, problems in people, problems in yourself. And if you're noticing them, it's for a reason, it's for a good reason, because I think if you didn't notice these things, you wouldn't be able to change them. So it's a good thing, actually. It doesn't feel good, I know, it feels very frustrating, it feels as if you're not getting anywhere, but you are getting somewhere, you absolutely are. You can't fix everything at once either. You can't push this in one way. You can't fight against it either, which I know Aries likes to do. So just sit there with this, go with the flow, even if it's not feeling good for you. You know you're going in the right direction. Well, you don't. I'm telling you, you are if you don't. You're going in the right direction. You know, just go with the flow and let this happen. Frustrating things come up in front of our faces. Things we don't want to see sometimes come up in front of our faces. And that's because we're supposed to be seeing them so that we can change them. But we can't change everything right now. So that's just going to take time. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Confusing again, I know. The first card you have, your present, is the Star. I love this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. So yeah, this is showing you you're going to get through this. Absolutely, you're very resilient. You'll absolutely get through this. You'll come out the other side and you're heading toward the Star. You're heading in the right direction. Again, there are mountains on this card. So again, you probably feel a little bit lost at this time. You don't have the stability around you, or that's how you're feeling. You do, but you're feeling as if you don't. And also there's this vulnerability in this card as well with this naked woman. So you're probably feeling a little bit vulnerable because you don't have that stability underneath you. Now, you do, but that's probably just how you're feeling. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is a love connection. Okay, so you might be apart from this person, you might be separated from this person, or it might be that you're in a relationship with this person and you just feel a little bit separate from them. So whoever this is, there's a bit of fear inside them, I think. I'm just getting this feeling of someone who's a little bit standoffish, holding back from you. There's a bit of anxiety around this. I think they might be a little bit worried that maybe you're out of their league or something like that, or they're not quite good enough for you for some reason. Now, they have hope for this. They have hope for this relationship. This is the Star card. But there's some kind of separation, either a real separation, a concrete separation, or it's a feeling of separation. They still have strong feelings for you. They still have hope for you. I keep on seeing that. Now, I'm seeing something that's quite specific. I nearly said Pacific in here. So what I'm seeing is there's an unanswered text or an unanswered message, I think. Now, they might be waiting for communication from you. Maybe they were the last one to contact you or connect with you or something like that. Maybe they feel as if it's your turn. And, you know, they're just not getting an answer. I'm getting this feeling that maybe you don't realise they're waiting, or you don't know they've left a message. It's something like that. I know technology's been crazy lately, so it has been for me, so it might be that. I mean, my phone's been turning on and off. It's been, you know, if I watch something on YouTube, it goes to something else on YouTube when I'm not touching it, or it goes to iTunes, or it goes to something else. It's been doing that in the last, say, week or so. So it might be something about that, but I'm just seeing them waiting for you to reply to them. And you're not doing that because you don't know that message is there. That's what I'm seeing. I know that's very specific. And I think because you're not replying to them, their insecurity is getting even worse. So, yeah, I keep on seeing this missed message. So maybe check your phone if that's resonating. Well, you don't know if it's resonating. Check it anyway. So the last card you have, or not the last, the next card you have, your present, is the Five of Pentacles. I'm stumbling all the way through this reading. I don't know what it is. Anyway, so yeah, the Five of Pentacles. So yeah, they feel left out. They really do. They feel left out, but they're not saying anything to you. They feel as if you should talk to them, message them, but you're not doing that. And they're not saying anything to you either, and it's frustrating me. This feeling that they have is, it's like, I've messaged them. I'm not going to double message them. I'm not going to double text them. That's the kind of thing I'm getting. And they're sounding strong. They're trying to sound strong. They're trying to be really strong. They're trying not to contact you, but they're very, very, very anxious. If I were them, I'd just contact you. But they're not doing that. They're waiting for you to do that. And I think because you're not doing that, that sort of proves that they're not good enough, and you're out of, or they're out of your league or whatever. Or you're out of their league. Yeah, you're out of their league. So it kind of proves, oh, I'm not good enough. They're not contacting me. It must be true. It must be true. And they get all anxious and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, I think they will eventually contact you again. But yeah, I keep on seeing this message that's lost or it wasn't seen, something like that, a phone message or something. And I think that's what's fueling this anxiety. The other thing I'm seeing in this card is an anchor. If you look at this window, at the bottom of part of this window where these coins are, it looks like a little anchor to me. So what I'm seeing is, I think there's an area of your life that's been really unsettled, unanchored, if that makes sense, and it's going to settle down soon, definitely. You're going to be totally anchored in something where you're kind of floating around without that kind of sense of place, if that makes sense. And it's going to happen before the end of this year. So I am seeing a little bit of anxiety around this, a bit of stress around this before you actually settle into this, make this decision and get this anchoring or whatever this is. It is going to settle and you will feel a lot calmer and a lot better in yourself after you've done this. And I think that's going to help with a lot of these feelings I'm seeing here in the Ace of Swords and the Ten of Swords as well. So all of that's going to help. It's not like, oh, there's one solution to this and here it is. There are lots of little things that you're kind of gradually moving toward, and they're all gradually making up all these little pieces in the puzzle until they all come together, and you'll feel whole and you'll feel grounded and you'll feel a lot better and you'll feel a lot at ease in yourself after all that happens. So the last card you have your present is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so this is what I'm seeing here. There is going to be some, not anxiety, but a little bit of stress, a bit of worrying about this kind of anchoring, this settling or whatever this is that I'm seeing in the Five of Pentacles. Now, I've been seeing this for a while in your readings, that you had a decision to make and you're having to narrow down this decision out of a few different choices or something like that. And I think one of your big worries, I think, was narrowing this down, you know, which path will I take? And I think by this time, I think you probably pretty much narrowed that down and you'll have a decision on your mind. You wouldn't have done it, but you'll have the decision. You know where you want to go by this time. And the other concern I think you had around this was that if you settled on one thing, you might end up being a little bit like this knight, actually. Sitting here, not moving, he's stuck, and that's the absolute worst feeling in the world for an Aries. Feeling bored, boring, stuck there, not moving. Now, you're not going to feel like that. You're not going to be boring, you're not going to be bored when you settle, when you anchor down. Because look at what he's holding. He's holding a big coin. So anchoring yourself into this decision, getting that over with, making the decision, doing the thing, that's going to help you to grow, definitely grow your finances and a lot more as well. So it's like one area of your life is going to be slowing down a bit, and I'm not going to pretend it's not slowing down, it is. But because of that, another area of your life is going to start to speed up, and that's your money, your finances. That's going to speed up after you settle. And I think that's going to also contribute to changing a lot of things in your life and feeling that sense of security as well. Look at this coin. It looks as if it's lighting up the whole sky. And I think that's what it's going to do for you. It's going to bring the atmosphere around you into this beautiful light golden atmosphere. You're going to be so much better. You know, when you go and sit in the sun on a spring day or something, and it's a bit chilly, it's a bit cold, you go sit outside and you're in the sun, you get this beautiful warm glow around you and you feel really amazing. That's how you're going to be eventually when all these puzzle pieces come together, and you're working toward that now. I know, I'm seeing in the Ten of Swords, you feel the opposite. You feel as if you're going in the opposite direction. You're not. You're going in the right direction. Look at the Ace of Swords heading up toward the crown. Right direction. This is Knight is taking you in the right direction as well. So once you anchor this, once you work this out, you've sorted, I think you know what you want to do now. So once you've actually done this, you've anchored, you're settled into whatever this is, then your money's going to grow, you're going to feel a lot better, and you're probably going to say to yourself, why didn't I do this sooner? Why didn't I do this sooner? It doesn't matter, you're doing it now. So the first card you have in your future is the Four of Swords. Okay, I think I'm getting into this reading a little bit more now. I was stumbling, I was worrying that I was a little bit complicated and bothered about this, and I'm losing a lot of confidence lately in these, I've got to say, but I think I'm starting to pick up a bit now. So, yes, the Four of Swords. So again, this is really following on from what I'm seeing in the Knight of Pentacles, really, because if you look at this man, obviously the statue's lying down, he's not moving, he's still like the Knight of Pentacles. As an Aries, again, keeping still, lying down in one place, it probably seems very boring to you, but again, he's golden, like this coin, like the sky in the Knight of Pentacles. You're going to be surrounded by warmth, by gold, like this man that's lying here. Now, of course, when you've settled on one's decision and you're sticking with it, because that's what you're doing now, things grow where there's stability. Trees grow in soil, and that's what's going to happen. So it's not just going to be your money that's going to grow, it's going to be the value that you see in yourself. That's going to start to grow, your confidence is going to grow, and all of that, that's another piece to the puzzle. It's all going to add up to this really, really nice ending to this process you're going through. This man's golden, so yes, you're going to value yourself. Gold is very valuable. Yeah, so the other thing I'm seeing is, I'm just looking at this window and it's like a beautiful, colourful world, and he's kind of not, he's not out in that colourful world yet. So I think for a long time you've been looking at the world outside yourself, you've been on the inside, looking out, wanting to join that, but not quite feeling confident or ready to do that. So this is going to help you to do that as well. You're going to open up to a lot more people, you're going to be going out, you're going to meeting more people and all of that kind of thing, and that's going to open yourself up to the outside world a lot more than you have been. Now again, I'm not saying you're a crazy basket case and you're kind of stuck inside all day. All I'm saying is there are a lot of opportunities, people, things that you have been holding yourself back from because of this double-edged feeling inside yourself that I see in the Ace of Swords, and that's all going to be changing now at this time. So the next card you have, your future, is the Seven of Swords. Yes. Okay, so I'm seeing a very sneaky kind of person. I think this might be an ex, actually. I think they might start to come back into your life. They might just try to chat with you a little bit or something in little ways. I'm seeing little messages. So they might even offer to help you in some way. I'm seeing someone asking, you know, things like, oh, can I do this for you? Can I help you with this? Do you need help? Just be very, very careful with someone who's saying this to you, more than a bit careful. I actually think they might be in another relationship and they're kind of looking at you and they're kind of hedging their bets a bit. Do you know what I mean? I think they're kind of, you know, if they're not happy with where they are, they might be coming back to see if you'll be open to something. That's what I'm seeing. So look at these swords in this card. I'm looking at these two swords standing up, actually. They're standing up, they're separate, but this man's kind of almost eyeing them up and down. He's looking at this two and he's saying, let's compare these two. Do I want that one or do I want that one? So he's being very sneaky. He's looking at the two of these and he's going, which one do I want? That's kind of what I'm seeing in that card. Now, I could say stay away from this person, but I know you're an Aries. I don't need to say that, so you are going to do that anyway. And yeah, if they do come and start suddenly being all nice to you, I think they're in for a bit of a surprise. Let's just say that. So yeah, the last card you have, your future, is the Three of Swords. Again, here we are. This is what this guy wants to start, or this woman wants to start, or whoever this is, in the Seven of Swords. They don't care if they're starting a third party. They don't care about the other people around them. And really, they don't care about themselves, because if they're starting something like this, or they're trying to, they're only going to hurt themselves. You know, if you hurt people, you might act all big and bad and I don't care what people think of me, I don't care if I hurt people. If you're that kind of a person, you do hurt. You hurt yourself. You do. There's no doubt about it. I mean, especially the biggest and baddest people, they're usually the most hurt people, actually. That's why they're like that. So that's what this person's going to end up being like. Very, very hurt. You're well away from this. And also, you're ascending, you're growing, you're getting through this, you're pulling all the pieces of the puzzle together. You're going to be almost at the end of this quite soon, actually. It's hard now, but it's going to be a lot easier soon for you. And this person is not anywhere near this process. So he's on a completely different level, or she, or whoever this is. So you're right not to be around this person, especially if they're devious like this. So yeah, you're going to stay away. I know you are anyway. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. I'm sorry to end this on quite a negative few cards, but that's how it is sometimes. That's just how it turned out. Also, I really hope this wasn't too confusing for you, because I was getting a little bit confused. I think I might have been a little bit mixed up in the way I said things, but I really hope that made some kind of sense to someone anyway. So Aries, I really hope this resonated with you. As you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone, but if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to leave a comment, and yeah, thank you so much for watching.